Good evening, all. Wild Weather here for LiveWeatherBlogs.com. It's Friday night. Well, now it's Saturday. We just passed midnight here, and the cold air is diving south into the west, and the warm air is just climbing and climbing in the east. Like warm weather, get ready. All this warm weather is down here in Tennessee's coming on up the east coast here. Very warm day on tap tomorrow for Sunday especially for this part of the mid-Atlantic. Could probably be seeing record high temperatures in the low to mid 60s in the Philadelphia area. Tomorrow you see this cold wedge getting down in here. Tomorrow is going to kind of be one of those days where the sun can come out and we can get 60, and chances are though, looking at the way this is setting up and looking at my backyard right now, a lot of fog and low level moisture going on. While it's warm in the upper levels, it's not quite warm at the surface, and you get the warm air aloft and the cold air at the surface is going to cause an inversion layer, and what you're going to get is while you would like it to get warm, if you like warmth, you're going to be disappointed because the sun will have a hard time breaking through the low level deck and the moisture at the surface. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we can get some mixing going on at the surface. If that is the case, temperatures will make it to 60 degrees tomorrow, and certainly as the cold front that's sitting here moves east, and we get a lot of mixing, and we're off to the races on Sunday, no doubt about it. Mid 60s for Philadelphia. This is a pretty good cold air. Negative 4 degrees right now in Flagstaff. 4 degrees below zero out there. You can see the cold air has even made it into the Pacific Northwest right now in Seattle. 32 degrees, and this cold air is bleeding on down, like 48 degrees right now. Quite chilly down here into the Los Angeles area. 46 down here in Tucson. That cold air is making it all the way down here to the Mexican border here. The temperatures will continue to fall as the cold air just slams straight south, and the warm air straight north. Let's take a look at other places here. Let's go. A couple of you have been looking at the NAM here, and this is the OZ NAM at 84 hours. Like the high pressure up there, here's your important snow line, and north and west of this line it would be snowing, if you would. This is 84 hours out. You got a nice stripe of precipitation here, would move up, and seemingly this line would continue to move off to the south. Something to watch. Would be for Tuesday late in the day and toward the evening. The RGEM also was showing, rather the GGEM was actually showing something similar to this, as well as a UK Met. It's something to keep an eye on. Maybe this cold air is a little bit more rambunctious than thought. It then can come further to the east quicker. Maybe we can see this 84 hours in the NAM. It is something to watch. Give it a long shot. The GFS right now really not showing that. Showing it pretty warm here, but we'll see what happens. And speaking of the GFS, let's take a look. This was from the 18Z GFS. This is going out. This is the looking at here at January the 27th. Nice low pressure there, moving up the east coast. Here's our rain snow line, and that's an awful lot of precipitation there. It's 1.25 liquid, and seemingly, if the storm is going to be moving this way, this moisture would come up into the Philadelphia area. 1.25 liquid, hey, that would be a nice snowstorm. Something to keep an eye on. The GFS is starting to catch on that some cold air should be coming down. This is the 500 millibar map, and look at that. There is a nice vortex there in the Great Lakes, and a pretty sharp trough coming down here. While in the upper levels, we got a southwesterly flow aloft. The cold air is really, it's quite entrenched here, and this again is on January the 27th. At this point tonight, folks, I really think that while we look at the NAM tonight at 84 hours, this is kind of your transition period. I would say Tuesday night into Wednesday, where we step back down into winter, 65, 66 degrees on Sunday. Then we have a couple of series of fronts. One's more of a Pacific front, and then we start to get into polar, and then we look for the Arctic front to come. We're going to call it stepping back down into winter. While it'll be 66 degrees on Sunday, by Thursday or Friday of next week, sorry about that, we'll be looking at temperatures running at about normal, 40, 38 for the day, middle 20s at night. This time of the year, 38 degrees is about your normal high temperature. Now, the OZGFS that just came in, this is hour 264. That is some major league cold. That upper level low is sitting there. The polar vortex drops down. Cold air, the floodgates are open. Fairly decent ridge in the Pacific out here, but this is a lot of snow, light snows here, and you wonder if this storm here is a lot stronger than modeled. You can see we're tapping the Gulf of Mexico as well. What does that look like on the what this is going to look like coming up is pretty amazing. So we'll see. This would be a complete reversal of what we are seeing on Sunday. This would be this is January 23rd. It's that 22nd through the 30th time frame, folks, where I think we really need to start looking and seeing what's going to happen, because this is a complete reversal of what we're going to see on Sunday. When I come up, I'm going to bring this up to you. While the warmth has been taking place, the Gulf of Mexico is fairly warm, but anywhere you see all this red area down here, the water temperatures in these areas down here are extremely warm. If we can get a cold plunge of air like the GFS is showing, and low pressure were to develop up here in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico, even back in here, there is an awful lot of warmth and energy down here for a storm to just explode as it comes up the east coast here around this polar vortex. Water temperatures up in this area here near 80 degrees, 77, 76 degree water temperatures down here. It's been in the 80s, 88 degrees the other day for a record all-time high in Cape Coral, Florida. It's very warm down here, and as the sun angle is increasing, we can start getting these storms develop in the Gulf of Mexico and right along the boundary of the cold air, and we get this tremendous temperature gradient with the waters. These storms are going to be supercharged, and we could have the potential coming up later in the month and into the first part of February, if in fact we get that good NAO going negative, and the AO is going to go as negative as it says it's going to negative, and the PNA can go positive. We could be looking at a major East Coast snowstorm sometime between the 22nd and 30th of January. So keep it here, and we'll see what happens. There's just a lot of potential heat energy and latent heat energy down here with water temperatures in the lower to middle 80s through the Caribbean, 82 degrees out in Puerto Rico, a lot of warmth, and that's an awful lot of moisture. And dew points right now, even now, in the low 70s to 70 degree dew points in this area here. 10 to 15 inches of rain fell over here. I mean, hey, where you got warmer air, you got more moisture to be available, and this area hasn't really been touched in terms of a cold plunge of air. So something to watch out for. Keep an eye on. It might be a little sneaky something on Tuesday night into Wednesday. We'll see about that. We'll see how quickly the cold air that is out in this area, and I'll show that to you again. How quickly does this cold air move east? Right now, I'm kind of not buying it, but we shall see. And the long range, folks, that's some major league cold. At 492 and 474 aloft. That's pretty chilly. Everybody have a great night. This is Wild Weather for LiveWeatherBlogs.com. And if you're on the roads tonight, stay safe. It's a lot of patchy, dense fog out there. Look for that to continue.